You guys, welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. And today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and Bank of America, as well as many other massive companies, expect the pain in the housing market to continue for at least 2 more years, which in all reality, it could actually be much worse than that, especially as the war with Ukraine and Russia rages on. And now a new round, it seems like there's always a new round, but a new round of COVID lockdowns makes its way throughout China. So in other words, you guys, there are so many different black swan events that could completely upend all of the effort that the Federal Reserve and all of the pain that Americans have been going through. But hopefully that won't happen and we can just reset, crash, or give the housing market a correction and then just move on with our lives. And today we're going to read an article from, okay, sit down, okay, don't hate on me, CNN, about what some really big companies are thinking. And then we're going to end by accessing Fred economic data so that I can really show you guys the size of this housing market bubble, you guys. And again, when I'm saying the bubble, right, I'm talking specifically about one thing, you guys. When I talk about crash, I'm talking about one thing. I'm talking about equity. That's all. I'm talking about equity. That's the problem. That's the inflation. That's part of the reason why we're in the situation we're in. Homes are just so unaffordable. And as Americans, we have a right to home ownership. But when the government, the Federal Reserve, right, the unaffordability, when it takes that right away from us, y'all, to comfortably live in a house that we've earned, that's not a good thing, right? People aren't going to put up with that for very long. So I really hope that they reset, crash, and correct this market as soon as possible. But you guys, remember, I'm not your financial advisor, even if I want to be, even if you want me to be, I'm not, even though my bio is as a concerned parent. You guys, the school systems today, I don't even know what to do. I'm a concerned parent, y'all. Another thing, I'm a frustrated renter. I don't want to throw my money away and rent anymore. I'm renting right now, even though I own real estate, you guys, and I'm an outworked employee. You guys, I've been working Monday through Sunday for I don't know how long, and I put in 10 hours a day, right? And here's the thing. I really want balance. I really want to enjoy my children, but I'm telling you guys, I'm so freaked out right now about the clear recession that's coming because I've already went through one and lost everything. I'm working like an absolute beast right now so that I can stay ahead of the inflation, stay ahead of the unaffordability. So in other words, I'm practicing what I'm preaching. What I am telling you is what I am doing myself. So again, you guys, for that effort, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, shoot me a comment below, but let's get started in this video right now. So once again, towards the end of the video, I'm going to bring up the Fred economic data charts to show you the magnitude, the size of this housing market bubble. But where we're going to start, you guys, is CNN. This is nothing political. Normally, okay, I got some blowback from the last CNN report I did. This is nothing political, and I'm going to go on the record and I'll say right now, there is so much CNN does, I don't trust them. I think it's a lot of fake news and it disgusts me, but every once in a while they have an author that gives a little bit of value. So that's why we're reading this. So please don't hate on me. The name of the CNN article is titled, Bank of America CEO Predicts 2 Years of Pain Ahead in the Housing Market. The CEO of the nation's largest banks are preparing for economic downturns in 2023. But he's also hopeful that the likely recession will be brief and mild. Bank of America's CEO, Brian, said in an exclusive interview with Poppy Harlow on CNN this morning, Tuesday, that there is a lot of uncertainty in the global economy due to the potential U.S. freight railroad strike. What? Russia war with Ukraine and COVID shutdowns in China. I missed this the first time I read this. This is interesting. I am going to do a little bit more research on this. You guys comment below. Let me know what you know about the railroad strike. I heard of the trucker strike, but I didn't know there was a railroad strike. So you guys comment below. Let me know what's going on there. I will do some more research on that. So an economic pullback shouldn't be a major surprise. That the worst case fears for the economy may not materialize, thanks to the continued resilience of American shoppers. But I'm going to argue, guys, let's talk about the continued resilience of American shoppers. The American shoppers should be resilient. Why? Why should American shoppers be resilient right now? All of the historical money printing of trillions of dollars, people got so much money, free money, PPP money, super low interest rates money. And it's only been what, less than a year since quantitative tightening? They should be strong. The problem is like a lot of those people that were strong are no longer strong anymore. And a lot of those people that were strong are affording to live by drowning in credit card debt. We have an absolutely horrible credit card debt problem right now that might explode. On top of that, consumer debt in the form of used cars. Y'all, we may not have a mortgage collapse, but we certainly may have a credit card collapse or consumer credit card collapse and used car collapse. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's a lot of problems that they're not on top of. And it's really a lot of greed. I mean, credit card companies right now, put it in perspective, 30% interest rates. 30% interest rates. Okay, so if 1 out of 3 persons makes the minimum payment, it's profitable for the lender. Even if 2 people stop making their minimum payment, it's still profitable for the lenders to give credit cards out. That's why these credit card companies are not pulling back necessarily. They're saying, get more money because we get 30%. Y'all, here's the thing with consumer credit cards. It's the worst, in my opinion, the worst legal debt you can be in. Credit card debt, right? The worst, like way worse than a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, which is also a horrible debt because the way it's amortized, it's front loaded with interest. I see that I'm rambling. I'm sorry, guys. Let's get back to the article. That was predicted to happen earlier this year. There was going to be a real slowdown. The Fed was going to raise rates, and it's all pushed out largely because the U.S. consumer stopped spending money, guys. Stop spending money. Comments about the economy are decidedly more bullish than some of his peers. JP Morgan Chase said earlier this summer that Americans should brace for an economic hurricane, and Goldman Sachs CEO told Harlow in July that there's a good chance the United States has yet to reach peak inflation. Still, he is concerned that there could be more tough times ahead for the housing market. Mortgage rates have skyrocketed this year due to the Federal Reserve's series of aggressive interest rate hikes. And real quick, guys, I wonder if they're, because the same people that their narrative is, oh, prices are still going up year over year. I wonder if they're going to say interest rates are still going up year over year. Or, oh my gosh, we had a break in interest rates. They're going down so much. So you guys see what I'm saying? They're saying, oh, rates are going down. But when we look at the year over year comparisons, they've doubled. Do you see how the narrative, you can use the data? You got to be real careful with the data, guys, because these people can use the data to manipulate you if you let them. Mortgage rates have skyrocketed this year due to the Federal Reserve's series of aggressive interest rate hikes. That has made it difficult, if not impossible, pay attention, for more younger Americans to buy a first home. This is the toughest thing. You have to slow down the economy. You have to slow down inflation. And the way you do this is rising interest rates. The intended outcome of the Fed's policies doesn't feel good when you are trying to buy a home or trying to just live life, I would argue. He told Harlow that there could be 2 years of pain in the housing market before activity returns to normal. But despite worries about the housing market, he said he's still optimistic that the U.S. economy will continue to lead the global recovery, especially given concerns about China's recent COVID outbreak and the intensifying protests over the country's strict lockdown policies. I think our economy is holding on better than the rest of the world. So again, you may remember me pointing out one of the key differences. Well, there's a lot of differences, but one of the main differences of 2008 to right now is the entire world is messed up right now. Remember, guys, and back in like 08 to 2011, the whole world was not in a giant, massive bubble and going through a possible financial collapse. Back in 08 to 2011, they could bail us out in a sense. They could take a little bit of that pain away from us. But right now, I suspect it to be the opposite. I suspect that the U.S. is going to try to take the pain away from other countries. And as a result, that's going to hurt us even more. Let me pull up the Fred economic data chart right now just to show you guys how large the housing market bubble really is. All right, this will be linked in my description. This is the median sales price of houses sold for the United States. This is Fred economic data. Last time this was updated was in October 26th of 2022. This is updated quarterly, unfortunately, but I want to really point out that this is the maximum outlook, by the way, okay? So this goes back to 1963. So this is 1963 to current, and this is showing median sales price of houses. So what I want to point out is right around here in 2002. So essentially that's when I got started in real estate in 2002. That's also when I graduated high school. So I graduated high school, started in real estate immediately, and that's what I've been doing almost this whole time. But you can see from 2002 to like the peak, that's the bubble right here. Okay, that's the bubble, 2002 to 2007. Okay, that's about 5 years. Okay, but I want to point out that this bubble right here, look at this, you guys. This bubble is so much bigger when you compare the same time frame than it was the last time. I mean, this is what we have to correct. This huge skyrocket. Let me put a 5-year on this real quick. This right here, this massive spike upward, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we're going to have a crash. This is why the Federal Reserve is going to have to hurt us, because this should be way lower. Home price, median sales price should not be 454K. To be honest, more realistically, it should be, in my opinion, it should be almost $100,000 lower. It should be like right around here. This line, if you guys can see it, this represents about $360,000. I think that $360,000 for median sales price is more in line to where we should be at. So in other words, guys, we have to get crippled. I mean, we're going to get broke here. I mean, so a lot of it, guys, is going to be unemployment. If unemployment gets out of control, which is very possible because of all the quantitative tightening and pain, if that gets out of control, it's going straight down. We're going to have such catastrophes. Now, if it's not out of control, if it just goes up a little bit, we can reset, we can get back to normal. That's good, but I just don't see how we can have a soft landing and get home ownership back to affordable levels again. I think the only way to do that is things have to break and fall apart, right? Because they went up way too much as a result of supply demand. But really, in reality, the Federal Reserve quantitative easing going almost into 2022, right? Basically into 2022. They should have stopped it at the beginning of 2021, maybe the end of 2020, but they didn't, and we're in the situation we're in right now. Now, in conclusion, in order to match fundamentals, in order for affordability to come back in line with reality, we have a lot more room to go down on prices. And that's not a guess, you guys. That's a fact. And Americans, quite frankly, will not stand for such an unaffordability issue for a house, because we have a God-given right, an American right to be an owner. Having said that, I still believe, especially if you are not a well-leveraged and well-prepared buyer right now, purchasing would be an absolute financial catastrophe and possibly financial suicide. And that by waiting maybe a year, maybe less, you're going to be able to find a deal of your dreams. But again, you guys, in order to do that, you have to understand what a good deal looks like. And I really hope, guys, my videos are starting to teach you that lesson. And again, you guys, as we move now into December, I'm going to start injecting a little bit more value on how to find a good deal, on what a good deal looks like in my housing market update video. So other than that, guys, I really appreciate you watching this video, traveling along this journey with me. I hope you guys got some brand new perspective, value, and insights from today's video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I wish you luck. And you already know, I hope you win.